Hey there, my name's Mark. I'm a chef living in Paris. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make a sauce like they do in a restaurant. So what we're gonna be making today is called a jus, and all that is a reduction of stock. So to start off, I'm gonna show you how to make the stock. A stock is just an infusion of meat, water, and vegetables, kind of like a tea. The cool thing about doing this in a restaurant is that it's a way to economize on produce. You're using a lot of blemished vegetables and parts of the animal that you don't use during the service. Traditionally, this is made with bones, but I don't have a lot of those lying around, so I just went to the supermarket and got a really cheap cut of beef. You can use stew meat, which is good because it's already cut up into rough chunks. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the vegetables. These are gonna be wide pieces. They really don't have to be pretty. They're gonna stay in the water for a really long time, so you don't want them to break down. This combination of vegetables is called a mirepoix, and that's just a French word for an aromatic base that we use to give flavor to our stock. That combination of vegetables is usually onions, celery, carrots, sometimes shallots and leeks as well. When you're using leeks, the flavorful part is the white part. I'm going to be using some of the green part as well, but you want to be careful because that can be really dirty. You often have dirt that gets trapped in the leaves. So it's really important to wash these. I've got some hot oil at the bottom of this pot, so I'm gonna go ahead and brown the meat now. I'm just gonna flip these over now and brown them on the other side. I got rid of some of this fat because there was a little too much. Okay, so the meat's nice and brown. I'm gonna take this out. I've deglazed this pan with water, so all of this stuff that was stuck to the bottom before is gonna be preserved. Now I'm gonna add these vegetables here. I'm gonna add some tomato paste as well. I'm putting the meat back in, and then I'm gonna fill this pan up with water. I'm adding a bouquet garni. That's just thyme and bay leaf. Now we're just gonna wait for this to come to a boil. Now that this has come to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down and let it simmer for about an hour. I'm gonna add a little bit more water here because I think we can get some more stock out of this. So this stock has been simmering for a little bit more than an hour now. I'm going to skim some of this fat off the top, and then I'm going to drain it. I'm just gonna put this aside now, and then I'm going to take this liquid and then we're going to reduce all of the water out of there. And then we'll have our jus. I didn't use quite all of the liquid here. That way it will reduce faster. Stock lasts about 3 days in the fridge, so I'm going to take the rest and put it in the freezer. So you can see how this is a much thicker consistency. There's way less liquid. The last thing I'm going to do to this is to add just a little bit of red wine. And then I'm going to let that boil out. So this is what we're looking for. I'm gonna take it off the heat because we're all done now. I'm gonna use a rubber spatula now to get every last drop of this, because you can see how much effort went into that. A jus is a great sauce for any kind of red meat, so today I'm gonna make a steak. Just a couple of things to note when making a steak. This is mine here. I've salted it the night before. Salting is really important for getting the right texture on your steak. Another thing that you want to do is to let that steak get to room temperature, and that takes about 30 minutes to an hour. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cook that now. So I've got my pan nice and hot now. You can see there's even a little bit of smoke coming off that from the oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop that steak on there. And then I'm gonna let that go about 3-4 minutes on this side. And I'm gonna cover that up so that I don't make a big mess. I'm gonna turn this over now. That's a really nice color. So this browning action is a result of a chemical reaction called the Maillard reaction. And what happens when that meat is browning up is that all of the sugars are coming to the top, and that adds that caramelization that gives you the really nice flavor. I'm gonna take this off the heat now. Okay, so we're ready to cut into the steak here. We're ready to plate this up now. We're gonna keep this really simple here. I'm gonna salt these steaks one more time. And then we're gonna have it with some raw spinach. Now we're just gonna add that jus. Look at that. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I know this was a lot of work, but this is really so much better than what you can buy in the store. If you liked what you saw, you can give us a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.